Agenda West Side Beer.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Wow.
Every week.
Hot.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to another episode of Into the West Comics. My name is Frank. Sonny is here.
What's going on, guys? How we doing? Dang, I'm shiny.
And we really missed him last week, so I'm going to introduce him now. Donovan is here.
Hey, everyone.
Oh, my goodness.
What's up, guys? Good to be here. Happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about the things we're going to talk about today. You're in for a treat.
And over there in the bungalow, he did his hair or something. He looking good. The variant is with us.
Let's I did do my hair. Thanks for noticing. Cheers.
We're gonna get his opinions on some upcoming Disney Plus projects. I really want to get his thoughts about all those things. But first, we got to introduce our favorite hot dog.
Hot dog in the hot dog region.
You're in the hot dog region.
Hot diggity dog. I think I'm seeking in the chair now.
A week has gone by and saying hot dog region doesn't sound any better.
It sounds actually worse.
Yeah.
That's why I keep saying it.
Hot dog Paul is here.
My friend, where were you born? The hot dog region.
Hot dog region.
That's where I came from.
Oh my word.
Settle down.
Guys, we're gonna get to our topics for the week, but as of a few hours ago, we had a little bit of I guess you would say it's breaking news, some new footage that was not included in the final cut of the Batman. And we saw we kind of saw what Matt Reeves' interpretation was of the Joker, and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts.
I mean, we talked about it for a little while earlier. I think the room might be a little split. I'm not too sure. I dug it. I thought it was pretty cool. To me, it seemed very like what I was saying. If he actually fell into a bath of chemicals, that's what would happen. He wouldn't just come out like clean skin with pale skin and all that kind of stuff. So I liked it. I'm glad that they didn't put it in the movie because that's all people would be talking about, and it would take away from
Totally agree.
the movie.
Yeah.
But I dug it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, it was cool. I liked it more than what we got in the movie. I think it brought the character to life a little more. He just didn't feel like a random dude in the cell next to Riddler yelling at him.
Right.
And I think the interaction was interesting. I don't know. Maybe I can't separate the person from the actor. Like I just see Barry Keoghan or however you say his name. And I think something about his laugh feels forced.
I see that.
But I mean, it was fine. I thought it was cool. It didn't really bother me, and I thought the interaction was very Batman Jokery.
Yeah,
he was like,
totally.
That's what I liked the best.
I liked the part where he was like, "You're afraid that he's right,"
Yeah.
and Batman was kind of like, "I don't like you."
And it's giving me vibes that they've like had one of these conversations before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I loved it when he goes, what'd you think? You bring me this stuff and I just get off to it? And he goes, don't you?
He's
And
like,
then he starts laughing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I thought it was good. It gave me more confidence in if they do that. then it'll be solid.
Yeah.
Variant, what were your thoughts?
What's the word?
I mean, it was really cool. Oh, where am I?
My man's got reverb on him. My man was
The
echoing in the
voice he
back.
does.
It's good.
It's really cool. I thought it was. I thought.
Oh, good. That was great.
Then just the scene for people need to watch it, of course, but the scene it's blurry. So you see him like through the glass, and they don't really show you what the Joker looks like, but they're constantly showing you like his hands or like the
back of
scars
his
on his
head,
back,
yeah.
and then they eventually show you what he looks like at the very end. It's really gross, but it's cool because I think how they did the Riddler, in the movie. This interpretation of him being like darker or him being not like this crazy zany villain, it made the Joker feel more believable and more feel like a guy who like his brain's probably a little fried because he fell into chemicals and he might not be this like crazy supervillain. He's kind of just a guy who hurt himself. It felt very believable. I don't think it's my favorite look for a Joker, but it's unique and it's not just like, all right, it's a clown kind of thing.
Certainly not my least favorite look.
Yeah, I can't say. So I liked the scene. I thought it was also super intriguing the way the dialogue was and his whole intro of him going, 1 year. It's been 1 year, our anniversary. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's fun. That's very like teasing at Batman about how they can't live without each other. That whole deal. I loved that. The look, still not sure yet, but there's still so many factors that we have to piece in when we get our Joker.
Yeah.
He wasn't wearing his full on makeup.
Right.
He was disheveled in Arkham. Most of his shots were out of focus. He wasn't in his great purple suit that we usually see him in. He wasn't in his most extreme element or in his best element. We're actually seeing the Joker at his worst.
Yeah.
In Arkham, in chains, not fully put together.
Right.
So I think it was a good teaser. I think it was a good start to this character. I think it was smart to have it be revealed at the end of the premiere of the movie and having it be connected to the rataalada.com website and having it go back and forth. I thought that was real. That's where it premiered.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah. So,
okay, that's good. That kind of was like a little like
that was
maze
our
to find your post credit scene. That's fun.
Yeah, that's
in
super
hindsight.
fun.
I think that's more fun than what I said. I knew the El Rada Alada thing was going to happen at the end, but I was like, I'm going to sit and watch it anyways.
Yeah. So they made us wait for a post credit scene, and we had to solve riddles in order to get this post credit scene, which I think is so meta for that. That
for
story.
sure.
They made you work for it.
Yeah, it was really
like
good.
that.
I applaud the effort, but we've seen Joker done a bunch of times. I'm hoping that this is a new, I don't want to say different because all of them sort of bring their own Joker take.
Absolutely.
You had said in our group chat that, you're willing to step away from the Joker for a little bit so that we can focus on other characters, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
I would love to see a story where, and we're not going to get it in this one because he was in year one, but I would love to see a Joker story where we see all of these villains and we see this guy who's crazy saying, no, they're doing it wrong. They don't know him like I know him. And then the Joker reveals himself. So no, I know exactly what to do because you can't have the Joker or you can't have Batman without the Joker.
Right.
But I think there's going to be a slow burn though.
Sure.
They can, there's a reason why there's a lot of reasons why the movie probably didn't include the scene.
Yeah.
But it's a 3-hour film.
Yeah. And Matt Reeves is super smart and he's intentional about almost everything that he does.
He's mentioned the Mr. Freeze thing, that he's interested in doing that and bringing it to the big screen. And I would like to see his version of kind of telling that story, whether he incorporates the wife. I'm assuming he would incorporate the wife as well. Sure. I think it would be a really cool story.
I wonder which one he would do, because there's a couple of stories. There's the one where he's like actually a caring husband and kind of like is just doing what he can to try to bring his wife back to life. And there's another one where the woman he's saying is his wife isn't actually his wife. It's a woman that he just kind of like took a liking to, and he's the reason she's frozen in ice. And he's just acting like I don't know which way he would take.
I'd like to see a hybrid of both.
Yeah,
I think like, oh, he's coming up with this new cryotherapy with Bruce Wayne and it's not going well. And he needs to test it on human subjects, and his wife offers herself to do it for him because she knows how important it is.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Catastrophe happens, they both get hurt from
Real
it. Like
grounded.
I would love to see something like that.
That's really believable.
At the end of the day, what I want Matt Reeves to do is I want him to do whatever whatever he wants to do, whatever his plan is, do that.
Give us Clayface. I want to see that.
And
I would love that.
I do like to get back to the Joker's look kind of. I like that he kind of looks like Greg Capullo's Joker. He's got
Yeah.
kind of the middle
totally.
mohawk in his hair.
The
Yeah.
face
up,
cut off.
face
type of
cut off,
thing,
back
That's
on
what we were
his
talking
face.
about in the
Cut up.
parking lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I really, really enjoy the elements that they're borrowing from Snyder and Capullo's run on Batman, because I
Right.
think for me, it's Morrison and Snyder's run, and then the Field. Like everything
Right.
else is
Sure.
behind that. And I think like there's individual like graphic novels that are just as good, but as far as runs go, Snyder's and Morrison stand alone.
Yeah.
And we've got stuff from Morrison's and things like that, and now we're starting to get stuff from Snyder's, and I think that's really fun.
One thing that can't be said enough is the importance of Joker with regards to Batman. You mentioned that there's no Batman without Joker and no Joker without Batman.
That's why I
That
don't like the
there's-
Joker movie.
Yeah, well, to each his own. I don't think I really cared for this whole footage thing, just because I don't want them to be mentioning that they've left something out. I don't need that. I don't need them to be keep adding to this thing. Like, well, look at this. We made this really gross version of Joker, and we didn't want to put that in because we had a 3-hour film. We didn't need the movie to be that much longer. But I will say this: eventually, everyone, if you get into another Matt Reeves Batman film, then by the time you get to the end of this second Batman movie that he makes, the sequel, everyone's going to be saying, well, now I want him to tell the Joker story. If we don't get it in the sequel, then you want more of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's that
It would be
duality.
cool to get flashbacks of like a Batman in year 8, year 9,
What if-
working doing this thing, but then like trying to remember
But
how
we
he
don't
took
think there's going to be a considerable time jump either in
So-
this. I mean, a couple
Sure,
of
yeah.
years.
But even then, he's still got more time under his belt. He's got more experience under his belt. And then I would love to go back and forth. Like the Joker is wreaking havoc and he's better than he was before, but he kind of has to go back and say, well, how did I get him the last time?
Right.
What did I
if-
do to smart him the last time?
Instead of we get the Joker movie, Joker is kind of a figure hanging over Batman's head over all 3 of these
Yeah,
films.
see, I love that. He's like Loki.
So Mr. Freeze or whomever is the villain in the second one,
Mhm.
and the Joker is also in it and doing things, and Batman has to deal with that. And then the Joker is in the third one and also doing things, and he has to deal with that. Kind of like Reeves is really good about weaving like relationships, like antagonists and protagonists. You see it in the Planet of the Apes films. He does that with Caesar and some of the other apes and
Yeah.
some of the people, and I could totally see him doing that, having
be
Joker
sick.
being a thread weaved between all of the
Right.
movies.
Just
Like-
kind of in the
Just-
background, just glooming, you know?
Like the Arkham
Yeah.
games.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
you see the
dude.
Joker is the main villain in
my
the first one. The
favorite.
second one, he's still the main villain, but in the third one, he's still living in Bruce
Yeah.
Wayne. Like
Mhm.
I would love to. I think you're right on the money with
I
this
think
one.
I think that would be cool.
Well, we're talking
like
about
that.
all these different levels to personalities and personality disorders. Next week, we're going to get a show that's going to drop.
This guy.
We've been waiting for this show. It's probably the most anticipated show, I would say, plus-wise,
Yeah.
other than Obi-Wan.
I was going to say, yeah, that's right next to it.
Moon Knight comes out next week.
So sick.
We get to check out this whole story. It's a 6-episode series, and I just wanted to really quick get a prediction or two from you guys of what you expect to see from this series. Sonny.
I think we're gonna see a lot of the pushing the envelope of how Disney Plus is gonna show like violence and just kind of being a little kind of on the borderline crazy. I think this is gonna be probably the favorite next to Loki after everything kind of comes out. Oscar Isaac is a beast. Revealed that he was trying to be Wolverine not too long ago. I'm glad that he went into this project. I've heard that it's not connected to the MCU.
Or not exactly.
Not
yeah,
exactly weaving in, so I don't know how much.
What do you like? It's in the same universe, but doesn't really have an effect on everything else.
I guess I've been hearing
I don't
weird things like this isn't going to be directly connected to everything else, which is weird. So that means we might not see any cameos, but if we do, it would be epic. And that this kind of has a little bit to go on what I'm
Well,
going to
there
talk
could
about
be
later.
cameos that wouldn't necessarily be connected to the MCU right now as we know it.
Right.
That's
We could be getting some Midnight Suns
bingo.
type of connections as
Yes.
far as Moon Knight is concerned. Sorry, Donovan, what'd you think?
That's exactly what I was going to say. As far as that not being connected to the MCU that we're used to seeing, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that his character lends credence to what we've seen before,
Right.
but lends credence to what we're going to see in the future. So
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the start of the Midnight Suns, and we're going to see that run because we've seen him in press junkets talking about Midnight Suns a lot. He's been like really hinting at it a ton. So I would that's what I'm looking forward to see how they're going to connect those dots there. But I'm really interested in the Oscar Isaac really having to play 3 different roles in one person. That is not easy to do as an actor to really play 3 people in one movie and they're all the same person.
Right.
That's difficult
shout out
to
James
do.
McAvoy.
I was literally going to say shout out
Same
Split.
here with
one
Split.
of the
I mean, that was one of the best movies, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm excited for Oscar Isaac's performance. I think he's going to knock it out of the park. I can't think of one movie I've seen him in where I'm like, he didn't do very good. He does good in all of his movies and shows or whatever. But yeah, I think we're going to get some really cool supernatural things in this. And I think we're really going to see in this series more of a vigilante in the MCU than we've ever seen before.
That'll be cool. And I want like more. I want some street level stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Daredevil thing so much, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I'm excited for the show. I don't know if I'm as excited as everybody else. I'm very excited, but it seems like everyone else is like over the moon.
I'm with you.
That was an accident. I'd like to take credit for that, but I'm not going to. And so I was watching like a TV. There was a TV spot while I was watching the March Madness the other day, and he looked. I hope that it's just what they use for the TV spot, but he looked super goofy, and I guess maybe that's kind of the point. But in the suit, it looked goofy, and it looked almost CW-y to me in the TV spot. I hope they use lighting and shadows to make it not look as kind of crazy, but he was like straight up just in like a spotlight almost in this TV spot. I wish I could remember which one it was. And I was like, whoa, that looked kind of goofy, but it still looks, that doesn't change my excitement about the show. It was just a thought I had seeing the TV spot the other day. And I am excited though. I think it's going to be fantastic.
What about you, Frank?
We know that this show is going to be, it's going to be pushing the limits as far as Plus shows and Marvel stuff has been. Last week, we're going to get to this in a moment, they officially added all of those Netflix series. And I think the timing is kind of, it's not just a coincidence that they've they did like a parental rating or something.
They didn't put Punisher on there, did they?
Yeah.
I think, they did.
Wow.
They sure did.
They did. I think they put all the shows on there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean,
and they made you confirm your parental rating for like an MA type of situation.
Yeah,
because
the Punisher was.
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
But Cam had mentioned that in the comments, the chat, that he's saying this could be something foreshadowing that we could be getting a show that's potentially pretty violent,
pretty brutal.
Staying in the Plusiverse,
Ghost Rider.
We could be getting Ghost Rider eventually. That would be okay with the variant. You'd be okay with a Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider would be the next thing that we would want, unlike other things.
Yeah.
like this.
Jonathan hates Nova.
I hate Nova. And there's a show. I'm sorry to steal it, I guess, but it's my cat now, right? There's gonna be a Nova show now, and
I didn't know this.
This is gonna be my take on it. I don't care. I would rather watch She-Hulk season 1 through like 10. How about that? Just a long She-Hulk show. That'd be awesome.
I think I might be with the variant on this one. I'm not as interested in a Nova story either.
I would love to see like a space cop, because that Nova is like
it's literally a space cop.
Yeah,
for sure. But
he's like Marvel's Green Lantern.
So the older Nova then, right?
Yeah.
Not like Kid Nova.
No, not the Kid Nova, but like the OG
Yeah, I'm
one.
still not sold. Dad?
Well, I mean, okay. Well, you've told us that you don't like it. We don't know what version. We don't know what version of Nova we're going to be getting in this series. So maybe it could be a passing of the guard between the older version and younger version.
They've done that a lot.
They have, and I mean, but it seems like that could be
Space Hawkeye.
That could be very. That's good. It could be very Disney.
Spock Eye.
Oh,
okay. Huh?
I was pretty quick with that one. That was pretty
about
good.
it?
I'll give that a 6. I'll give that one a 6.
I'd give it a 6.
Let's make a left
mail
down
it in.
here at the end of the street, down to Hell's Kitchen.
Ooh,
Heading on down to the Hell's Kitchen verse.
Donkey.
We know that we have
That Hell's Kitchen?
the Daredevil. I'm talking about Daredevil.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Gordon Ramsay.
Oh. My brain went to Shrek. I was so confused.
Donkey.
that's kind of where mine went. So
Yeah, I was
we're all in
like,
a different place
I was
here.
like, what?
Frank's
Well,
like,
we're in the same place.
I hate you guys.
Sorry. Where's
All
the
right.
lamb sauce?
Frank texted us earlier. He was like, "Let's keep it tight today."
That never happens. So there's rumors of a 4th season potentially for Plus.
Yes.
For Daredevil.
Yes.
Are you guys okay with there being a 4th season if they're continuing this continuity? We don't know if
Right.
that's actually happening or not.
Right.
Are you guys okay with that, or would you rather get a Daredevil film
Yes, dude.
in place of that?
Personally, film, because I don't want a 6-episode Daredevil series that they're going to put out. I think it'd be really cool to see it stretched out, but let's see a movie where he actually is being a badass.
Why are you-
Every week. He's got to get badass.
No, seriously, I think he deserves a movie spot, dude. That would be awesome. And it'd be more room to kind of bring everybody else in.
Timing
you know?
of it is kind of weird too. If they just introduced Kingpin
Yeah.
in Hawkeye, spoiler alert for everybody who hasn't seen Hawkeye yet, but we know that Daredevil in some capacity is going to be in the series with Echo.
Yes.
He's gonna be in some capacity in that show,
And She-Hulk, I heard, no?
and She-Hulk as well, I think. So they're gonna be able to. He made a cameo in No Way Home.
Yes.
He's gonna show up in 1 or 2 Plus series before they get to his own. I think subconsciously everyone is going to compare that season against the Netflix stuff,
100%.
and it can't be to that level of violence.
It won't.
It can't be.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't.
No,
think, I don't think
dude,
they can
all
get
those
to that level
one-shots,
of
I'm with you,
violence.
man.
They put the
They put the
parental guidance
disclaimer on
thing
there, yeah.
I mean, I don't have
I don't think so.
I have confidence that they're just gonna make what they want to make and
Yep.
not,
That would be
especially at
great.
this point,
Be awesome.
and not like be like, well, truncate it to certain audiences and stuff, because I mean, they've clearly given faith to what those shows are, and they know
Right.
those shows were successful for the most part. But there's only one way to find out, and that's wait and see what they do with it. But I to jump in, I don't want to see a series, and I have heard
Movie.
that this series, this Daredevil series, is gonna be like a light reboot. Like it's not really gonna
no,
be.
dude,
It's
we
not
don't
gonna
want
be.
that.
It's
need
not gonna
that.
be a season 4. It's gonna be a season 1, and they're kind of gonna be like, well, all that stuff may or may not have happened, but we're telling a story with Daredevil, and it's the same guy.
And that gives them their little caveat at the end to not make it as dark.
Yeah, I don't want that, dude.
Yeah.
I want a movie. I actually just watched the Batfleck Daredevil movie not too long ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, okay.
Other than the CGI being very horrible, I kind of enjoyed the movie.
Oh,
you know,
golly.
I kind of enjoyed
Story
the movie,
is so
dude.
bad.
It's not, it's not good. I think it's nostalgia. You know what I mean? But
Right.
I think if they got a movie in, they would have free reign to do whatever they wanted, and they don't have to go with the let's tone it down a little bit, because what we got was the cool Daredevil. You know what I mean? And I don't want that to get toned down. I don't want that to get, so I'm going movie for sure.
Donovan.
I'm going show.
Oh.
I'm gonna go TV show with this one. I think with a character like this, I think there are certain superhero characters that really deserve a movie. Superman being one of them, of course, because of how epic and grandiose he really is.
Right.
Daredevil's more grounded. He's the guy in the trenches. He's the guy in the streets.
Yep.
That really is fighting crime, and there's a lot of serial stories that are being told through his eyes. No pun intended.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was waiting.
Through his ears.
But yeah, I'm worried for a couple things. One, I'm worried that they are gonna PG-13 it up. However, if the story is good and they keep it borderline, I'm okay with it. The second thing that I'm worried about is that they're gonna use the multiverse of madness to rain havoc on these shows, to make them whatever they want because of what happened in the multiverse of madness,
Right.
which is fine. But then it's like, but we liked Daredevil because of what it was before.
Right.
Like,
Maybe they're doing a show so they can do it more mature, because they've been very clear about not wanting to put like rated R movies out.
Right.
And maybe this will be their way of testing the waters, Moon Knight, Daredevil, with their more mature television shows before they move into more mature movies. And maybe that's why it's going to be a show. Maybe that's a good sign that it will be more mature rather than it being a movie.
Only
Because they
time
don't
will
have
tell,
to. They don't
you
have
know?
to sell tickets. They don't have to put seats in butts. They don't have to get families to bring their kids.
Butts and seats.
whatever.
Get that seat out your
You know what I'm
butt.
saying? You just gotta have somebody sit on the couch and throw it on. They don't have to go out to see it.
Right.
And they don't have to be like, well, I can't bring the family with me, so we can't go see it.
Right.
And that's what Marvel's really worried about. They go, oh, well, they can watch it on their couch and just lock the kid in the room, whatever.
I think it's tricky though for them to balance that, Donovan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
I would just like to see Spider-Man and Punisher in a frame together because
Spider-Man,
that would be
Daredevil?
awesome. No, Spider-Man
Oh,
and Punisher.
I think it would all be cool.
That's where Punisher was introduced was
Yeah.
in Spider-Man
Oh, yeah.
for the first time. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
love to see something like that happen, but still keeping it, Daredevil-esque, Punisher-esque. But yeah, it's okay that they can go into Disney MCU movies.
Yeah.
Like that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're violent, but I'd like to point out that there was someone who was the most violent out of every character in every comic book film that we've seen, and it was Thanos. I don't know if you guys know this, but he killed billions of
Beings.
people
Beings.
and beings. I don't know how much more violent you can get than that. And his whole thing was, I have to kill all these people so that I can bring balance to the universe and everything is fine again.
And became
That's
a farmer.
really sick.
Yeah, this man became a farmer.
That's
after.
a really sick way to justify saving the world is killing billions of species and people. So
Yeah.
as far as the violence is concerned, I think we get violence confused with gore, because Thanos is a very violent person, but the show Daredevil, the show Punisher is very gory, very
Right.
bloody.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. I think they'll do okay if they just got to stick to their roots. And I don't need that much blood. I don't need intestines spilling out. I don't need a head being chopped off. I don't need. And by the way, we also got that in Endgame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanos
So
got his head chopped off and his arm.
I mean,
Purple blood though. Purple blood.
I don't understand
Rain.
all the trepidation with being like, oh, is Marvel gonna do it right?
Right.
They've done 98.5% of the things right.
Yeah.
Why are we so concerned?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think it's because people loved that Daredevil show so much and it had
I
such a
am
cult
people.
following.
I am people.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why they're sort of trepidatious about Daredevil, because they loved that one so much, and it was so good.
Yeah. And it was, but I like, and that was still them. It
Sure.
was produced by Netflix, but that was still them.
Right.
And I just don't have really any doubt in my mind that it's going to be good. Whatever they do is going to be at least serviceable, which
Yeah.
maybe isn't what we want, but it's better than what we get from some other movie studios.
Better than
and things like
nothing.
that. Exactly. And shout out DC,
Oh.
because we don't get anything from them, not for another like 8 months. But I just have confidence it'll be good, whatever they choose to do. And I'm not too like caught up on like the violence aspect of it. I think that's good and works and whatnot. But if it's not in it, it can still be good.
Yeah, I am with
And
you.
like if it's not, as long as it's good, I don't care.
Variant.
There's some people. Sorry, Frank. There's
sorry,
some
go ahead.
people that if it's not violent at all, but still a great show, they'll just crap on it. They just won't get. Well, it's not violent enough. Well, it was. Still a
Well, then
great
you
show.
need to see a therapist.
Right. Sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
No. I mean, that's it's a good point, but I think that them adding that content and you are familiarizing yourself with that world and those characters.
Yeah.
You have an audience that has grown accustomed to seeing a certain
Right.
level of action and violence and fighting and all those things. And then what you're
100%.
going to say is if it is not a reboot, if it's not a reboot, and they make the 4th season and it's Daredevil Light, which is what a lot of people
Dude, I
probably
don't
end
want
up calling it.
Diet Daredevil.
They're
dude.
going to be like, I don't need to see any more.
I don't think they're gonna do it.
I don't
Because
think they
one of-
will either.
one
but
of
I'm
the
saying that
coolest
it could be
things-
it could be a watered down version. It's not going to be as violent as Daredevil or Punisher is ridiculous.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
His body
That
count's
show's kinda
insane.
crazy.
But honestly, like if I don't get a one-shot hallway fight scene in this next Daredevil
the
series,
staircase and the whatever.
yeah,
It's like
I'm
that.
gonna be upset. You know what I mean? Just because I guess that's what I'm accustomed to, and we've gotten awesome scenes from that. But it is what it is.
Real quick variant. Would you rather see a Daredevil movie or a 4th season or a reboot of the show?
I'm crossed because the later the more seasons that we got from all those Marvel shows progressively got worse.
Oh, yeah.
I think. So like
I agree.
Iron Fist got 2 seasons.
Oof.
It was
Not
br-
great.
It was
And
brilliant.
Luke
then
Cage got
and
2
then
seasons. Not
Defenders.
the worst. Well, yeah, Defenders.
Yeah.
I like Defenders as a show. I thought it was fine. Sigourney Weaver's in it,
I
and
agree
she
with
don't
you.
do wrong. You know, but to have another season, I think there was a lot already done in Daredevil that I don't need like
More?
more of it.
I'm with you on that one because I kept thinking in my head like, what else could they tell from the stories that we've gotten before? We've gotten Elektra, we've got Bullseye, we've got Punisher, we've got Kingpin.
Yeah. Like
What do they need to do?
I don't need more
Spider-Man.
Daredevil. I want more Daredevil, but I don't know
Sure.
what story they're going to tell that's going to benefit me, especially when we have all these other shows that we've gotten connect to so many different things or so many different tie-ins or different characters that are growing with us. We've already kind of grown with Daredevil. Daredevil was the only thing that we had. It was Daredevil, and then they were like, okay, next hero, we're doing Jessica Jones. And that was crazy. Jessica Jones was my favorite out of all of them. I really like Jessica Jones more than Daredevil because I feel like it was a character that was so unique and so different that it like really engaged you. And then they
David
did,
Tennant.
and then they went into Defenders, or they did the their own the Hell's Kitchen universe, and it kind of just finished. I think
Yeah.
it kind of felt like it was done. So them to do another season, I think is smarter than them to do a movie because I don't know how big they could make it. Like Donovan was saying, I don't know how big they can make a Daredevil movie without it being like, here's some characters we already beat in the show, but now they've gotten some upgrades. Like here's the iconic villain. Like when I think of Daredevil, I do think of Bullseye,
Yeah,
and I
same.
don't know if they're just gonna like soup up Bullseye without making Daredevil get this whole thing. It just feels weird.
Right.
Jonathan, I
Um,
think you're kind of explaining why it will be a soft reboot, so that they can retread some of the storylines they already
wow.
did,
Yeah.
and they don't have to try to find like more niche Daredevil stuff to tell a
Right.
story. They can borrow from, they can do stuff they did in the other series, and then kind of maybe tie it in if they want to, if it works. Kind of like almost like Star Wars does with its Legends stuff now.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
can say, okay, and they can easily say the Netflix series were in a different universe, different
Right.
timeline.
Right.
And we can still say, okay, that happened, and those are valid. They are canon, just they're not in this timeline. And we'll see Daredevil in our timeline deal with the things that he dealt with there in a different way, and whatever story they want to tell. And
With
that's
the yellow and red
that's
suit.
why that would be cool. Honestly, I think that would be a fun thing to do, and that's something they didn't do in the Netflix
Yeah.
series. And it would be a fun thing they could do on Disney Plus. I'd be willing to bet that the budget will probably be larger on Disney Plus than it was on Netflix.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think I just think that would make a lot of sense, and it would be. I'd be excited for it, and am excited for it.
Well, I mean, staying in that same kind of area as far as whether or not we would want to see this as a show or a movie,
Mhm.
I gave you guys a kind of an assignment, and we're going to play a little game we like to call pitch meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to hear your guys' pitches for a recent movie or show within the MCU, or you could even do DC if you want. I mean, I don't know if you wanted to do something with Plus. Or
Oh, you're
whatever,
going that way?
And you,
Can we call this segment Pitch Please?
Oh, wow. That works.
I like that. Okay.
That works.
Pitch, please. And I'm gonna start with my pitch, my main pitch over here.
Yes.
Donovan,
What?
I want you to start.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're his main. No,
Sorry,
never mind.
baby. So my pitch is I would love to see Batman not in the movies anymore, and I would love to see him in television shows. I think the reason why is because of the rogues gallery that we have in Batman. There are so many
Tons.
villains that he has and so many stories. Then we can introduce all the different Robins. Then we can introduce Nightwing, and he can get his own spin-off, and we get to go to Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
We get to see these things. Now, maybe they're kind of doing that, but they're doing
That's what I
it
was
the
gonna say.
opposite
Arkham,
way
yeah.
Oh, okay.
with villains. They're doing the villains are getting the show, but I want Batman to have his own show.
Okay.
I think that Batman would be incredible, and then you have one movie where he's like, then almost sort of like what Downton Abbey did. Downton Abbey, if you're not familiar with it, folks, stay with me. It was a show that was done on the PBS, and it was about
Batman and Downton Abbey.
It was about
It was about crumpets.
some British elites and the maids that live with these elites and whatever. There was like 4 or 5 seasons of the show, and then they did a movie. It was like a 2.5-hour movie, and it went really, really well from what I hear. I've never watched it. I swear I haven't. I swear I haven't. My wife really loves the show. I have never
haven't
watched
it.
I really haven't. I couldn't tell you a
Never seen
character's name in it. But I would love to see Batman. Like Batman
You like
would
to
be
see
so
Batman in
int-
Downton Abbey?
Yeah, it'd be awesome, right?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Crazy crossover.
No, but like for because Batman he's got, like I said, so many rogues gallery.
He's got a lot of
and
stories you could tell. Yeah.
ton of stories you can tell.
That'd be cool.
So for me, I would love to see that sort of serial story with Batman.
I like it.
That's
It'd be a
cool.
lot of fun, and then putting it on HBO Max. Like, hey, HBO Max, You want to beat Disney Plus? Put a Batman show out.
It's true.
That connects everything in the DC universe with
good.
each other.
Yeah.
That's how you can get up to their levels. You start putting shows like that on your
That'll
network and
help.
not doing shows like Pennyworth, which went Pennyworthless. And
I've heard it was okay.
Zing.
DC like the Titans.
It's pretty decent. It's decent.
I have heard otherwise.
It's an okay
It's
show.
an okay show. I'll give it like a
Jonathan hates it.
7.
But if you
Jonathan's
put it,
giving double
but if you
thumbs down.
put that show up with a Disney Plus show and tell me which one's better.
Oh, of course. We're going Disney Plus for sure.
That's what I'm saying. So
Easy call. Okay. I
get
see
with
you.
it, HBO Max.
All right.
That's my pitch.
Okay.
Boom.
Pitch, please. Sonny?
TW said, "Pitch, don't kill my vibe."
I love that one. I was going to say that too.
Pitch
So
better have
awesome.
my money.
Oh, wow. This is good
Word.
going. This is going real heavy.
What are we doing?
So,
Downton Abbey Batman crossover confirmed. Cameron.
So okay, this has a little bit to do with a show that is coming out soon,
A
Moon
little
Knight.
bit.
We talked about this a little bit. It's one of my favorite groups ever.
Oh, okay.
I would like to see a Backstreet Boy. No, I'm just kidding. I would like to see a
Wow.
Moon.
You zigged when I thought you were gonna zag there.
Oh my God, we're back again.
I would like to see a Midnight Suns series possibly on HBO Max. They can keep it dark and maybe even pull in Doctor Strange in from all this kind of stuff. It would be really cool to see Blade, Doctor Strange. I'd love to see Moon Knight.
I have a quick question. Why would they go to HBO Max?
I mean, because I don't know, keep it a little darker than what it would be. I understand this; it would be Disney Plus, but I'm saying if it would be,
If it was dark.
Oh,
you're
gotcha,
saying.
okay.
if they couldn't like pull what you would see in the comics onto Disney Plus.
Gotcha,
That's
okay.
I mean, it would be nice to see it, but I want to see like a dark, gritty team up where it would be like a Defenders, but like better. You know what I mean? I think
Defenders, but better.
I think all of the characters in the Midnight Suns have a really interesting and dark kind of vibe to them. I would love to see that play out. It would probably be successful as a movie, I would say. It would definitely have to be rated R. I just don't see that being a project that Disney Plus would be able to adapt effectively.
Gotcha.
So
So
I know everybody in the room thinks that we're gonna have this separate access to Disney Plus where they're gonna put all these
not
you know what
separate
I mean?
access. I
Like,
think they're just gonna have parental controls,
They're gonna have Disney Plus,
which they
late
already
night.
do.
right. There's certain things that do not deserve the diet version of or the watered down version
Copy.
of. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
So we've gone series. These two pitches. They said series and series. What do you say, Bearded?
Well, I'm gonna say that the Eternals should have been a television show, and it would have given them more time to flesh out characters. There's two
On the
gazillion.
CW?
I was so confused. I was like, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like notice when Sonny said HBO Max. I just saw Donovan and Jonathan giving him the craziest look ever. I was like, what did he say?
Well, I thought it was a slip. That's why.
No.
But no, so I think the Eternals would have fared better as a television show from a storytelling aspect.
Yeah.
We would have been able to flesh out the characters more. We wouldn't have had to rush through so many things.
There was supposed to be more Eternals that they cut out.
Yeah, I know, and more like the motivations of certain characters. Like who's the one who's stuck in like a child's body? I can't remember the name of that character.
Sprite.
I was gonna
Her
say Snap.
motivation, and that's a big issue with that. I don't even. That's a big issue with that movie is her decision-making process and the way that character acts in the movie. It's a huge integral part, and it makes no sense.
No, I agree.
Like when when she's like,
These guys are still laughing at you. I'm trying to
Honestly,
listen.
I
I'm
don't
laughing at Sonny. I'm not laughing at him.
Snap.
Sonny said,
Snap.
"Which Eternal do you like? Screech?"
it's not Screech. Shout out the Saved by the Bell.
Venomverse?
He's dead. So there's that.
But
My goodness.
yeah, and it would make motivations
cooler all
make
of a
more
sudden.
sense. And I think that would have served much better as like a six episode limited series, kind of something maybe they were doing with Obi-Wan. But they got Chloe Zhao, and I've heard that maybe it was supposed to be a series, but then they got Chloe Zhao, and it's like you get the winner for best director from at the Oscars. You give
Do a
Sure.
movie.
She says, "I want this movie." You give her that movie. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Well, I mean, you do.
Didn't come out good.
Yeah, but that's hindsight talking. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. But I think that would have fared better as a television show from a long form storytelling standpoint, and it would have made everything a little more cohesive and less rushed.
It's really strange to me that of all the stuff that we've all watched together and separately, that Paul and I picked the same movie
Wow.
because I also
Nice.
picked Eternals because I had hope for this movie
Yeah,
to be something
So did I.
more
man.
than what it actually
Yeah.
turned out to be.
Sucks.
I think most people did.
It's not without its moments though. You know what I mean?
No, and
There's like three. There's like
and-
three good ones.
And I think I've talked to you guys as a group,
Good point.
but I've also talked to you guys about it individually. Age of Ultron seems to be a better film because of WandaVision
Yeah.
and all the other
Oh,
stuff that happened
No doubt.
years later.
yeah.
When you first watch Age of Ultron, you're like, that might not have been very good. But
Right. Now
now
I think it's pretty
you're
cool.
like, Age of Ultron was pretty cool.
It fits like the last piece of the puzzle. You just got in there.
And I
snug,
don't think,
there it
I
goes.
don't know if Eternals will ever have that kind of feeling in 5 or 6 years that you go back to it and you think like, man, Eternals was kind of good.
Unless that
I don't think I'm ever going to feel that way.
unless that celestial that's like popping its head out of Earth has some like huge deal to do with something later on. I think I agree with you.
I think his name was Screech.
Yeah, it was Screech. Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to see how they like mention that in the rest of the MCU now.
Going
Like,
forward, yeah.
like there's a giant celestial coming out of the ocean.
The Earth is a celestial.
And I was going to say the same, the
the Earth was
gestation
Unicron
period,
in
there's a
the
celestial
Transformers
living in
movies.
the Earth's core.
Right.
I was going to say along the same lines as Paul, that I think that this could have been a 10 episode series.
Yeah.
And it could have been anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Future conversation, we got to make a little note. Future conversation, we got to talk about watching the whole season of a show when it becomes available versus waiting week to week.
There's no chance that that's gonna happen.
But but this is my thing with Eternals. They could have done cold opens and spotlighted each character. They're going to do the 10 Eternals.
Right.
Spotlight each character for 4 or 5 minutes.
Right.
You do your little credits and blah, blah, blah. And then you have the rest of the episode is with them together. You bring it to present day.
Right.
And then the last episode, you have them all starting together in the cold open.
Right.
And then you know that it's coming to an end. And you're able to tell the story. You give it its just due.
Right.
And you give the thing its service, and I think it gets processed for fans better because a lot of people, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of people walked into Eternals
And walked out.
and they didn't know what they were going to see.
I don't think it was that bad.
No.
They didn't know what they were watching.
No, seriously.
And they were walking. It's like, well, what exactly are Eternals? I mean, I still have people asking me.
Oh, seriously.
And the movie came
And
out
you know,
months ago.
If you don't put the Marvel beginning in there and you don't know about
You don't
Eternals,
know.
you're
So-
like, what am I watching?
I think I have like a kind of a good parallel to make as far as like the storytelling aspect of the movie. It's like and the quality of it, we're more willing to forgive stuff when we really think the rest of the story of the movie is interesting. Like the Joker scene, none of us really liked that at the end of Batman, but we went, whatever, the rest of the movie was great, even though it didn't fit.
Right.
And then there's stuff in Eternals that just doesn't really fit. Like the explanation for why they didn't intervene with Thanos is weak. It doesn't really make
That
sense.
was so lame.
But if the movie was better, you'd have gone, whatever, who cares? It's a
Right.
good movie. It's a good excuse for the story. And we're more likely to forgive when it's a good film.
For sure.
And there's just a silly kind
or
of
if they
moment in it.
spend 5 or 10 more minutes explaining why they didn't get involved
Exactly.
with Thanos. It was,
Instead
it
of,
was like
we
almost
were
a
told
3-hour
not
film.
to, and everyone's like, okay, you
Well,
just turned
Mom-
up bus.
Dad-
You better
said
chill.
no.
That makes sense. Anyway, what are we having for dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Right. Varian, why don't you
IKEA.
chime in here? Let us know what was your opinion. I know you want to see a Nova series and film.
Nova series and film would be fantastic.
But other than that, what were the two?
Wow.
What would be the?
That was so mean.
Be a weird
Sorry,
ride home.
I just don't. I just don't know.
just
It's a good thing we got these two as far away from each other as we
Yeah,
could.
there's gonna be hands.
He's in the bungalow.
There's in Bungalow. Very safe.
It's the next studio.
One thing, just a
Padded.
thing I want to mention earlier. Midnight Suns video game was supposed to drop early this month.
Yeah, I
but
know.
it got canceled.
Yeah.
And as soon as
Like
Moon Knight-
canceled. Like, hey, you're
it,
canceled.
It
You
just
better
got
not say that.
canceled. It's supposed to come out later this year.
Yeah.
Because the whole Moon Knight got moved to this month.
Right.
So I just think there could be something with that. But I just wanted to talk about that for a second. And then the other thing of a show and or movie thing, I think CW has done a terrible job with almost all of their shows. Right? So what if they took some of their principal shows in the Arrowverse and just said, you know what, this character, you like the actor and or actress, let's just give them a movie. I think the
Talking
guy
about
who plays
Grant Gustin?
Flash, he just got picked up from like the most recent season,
Grant
that
Gustin.
actor. I think he's great. Why not put him in a movie? The girl who plays Supergirl, right? That
Melissa
actress.
Benoist.
Whatever. Great actress.
Quan, just
Give her a movie.
She's hot.
I think all these CW shows have just 5, 8, whatever seasons now. Why do that?
I think Green
maybe
Arrow
they should do end caps, say 5 seasons, and then take these characters and give them a movie to be like their finale. I think that could have been something really cool, and maybe even push those characters. It's weird because the CW or the Arrowverse is in a different timeline or a different reality than everything. But there's something with DC making these shows. There's so much content, right, in DC. We just try not to absorb it. But like CW shows, they're all an hour-long episode, and they're 16 to 20 episodes each season.
Dude,
and there's all
for
these
real.
seasons. There is a ton of content for DC,
Yeah.
but it's all on CW, and it's all not that great.
No.
It's all very meh quality. So
Meh.
why not just put up the blinders, say, hey, we're just going to do this little bit, and then give them a movie? I think it'd be cool. Superboy is a character that I would like to see have an actual movie. And then they just try to redo what they're doing
Do
right
you want
now.
this current Superboy or Superman, or would you like the Superboy that's
Because
the younger
there's
version?
a Titans Superboy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great. Yeah, and I think that could be something that's
It's like
cool.
a John Kent.
Yeah.
kind of thing. Okay.
I've watched the first couple episodes of the Superman and Lois. It's fine. It's
Got renewed
it's a
for
good
a
time.
third season.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Damn, really?
It's I've not really enjoyed any of the CW shows, but I am enjoying this. Superman feels very Superman-y. The actor is good. The family is
Superman-y.
good.
Paul loves him a good Superman.
I do
story.
Yeah,
love
he
me some good
does.
Superman.
Yeah, he
So
does.
chat's been chiming in a little bit. We got TW who's building his Saved by the Bell and Marvel movie universe crossover. He says
guy.
plot twist: Zach Moss is in the Inhumans and he gets his time powers out of the Terrigen Mist. Cameron says for Jonathan, Phase 6 is going to be all Nova. And then also, Jonathan, TW had a, man, I'm all over the place. Cameron had a really good suggestion that The Falcon and the Winter Soldier would have been a good Disney Plus premiere movie rather than the series that we got. And maybe we would have been able to trim some of the fat out of it that didn't really work, like the Carly storyline. Like, I feel like that's only in it because
Yeah.
it's a show.
And they
Yeah,
had to
I
fill
looked
it.
at Falcon and Winter Soldier as more of an epilogue to what we saw
Yeah.
before in all the Captain America movies.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I would want it as a movie. But
I think it would.
I
think it
do
could've
see what
worked.
he's saying.
Yeah,
I
see what
do
he's saying.
understand what Cameron is saying, though, and it makes sense.
But yeah, and I think there's a lot of things you can do that, and I think we're getting to the point where they're going to start doing that, where we can see like, oh, we're going to have this like smaller. I wonder what would they do as a Disney Plus straight to movie? Do you think that'll happen?
Well, we almost got Black Widow. I mean, that was the rumor for
Right.
the longest time
That's-
they're just going to put
That was
No,
Black
I
co-
don't
that
think-
was
And that was that whole fallout with Johansson.
but that was COVID related, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean,
will they
could they
develop
just do
a
one that's
project
just
for
exclusively
Disney Plus? Yeah,
No.
It's gonna be Nova.
could be.
I don't think that they will because of box office numbers
Well,
and what
like-
they've been able to draw from the
Yeah,
box office.
why would you win?
Why would you do that? Like
Yeah.
Netflix, they can do that because when they first started out as a streaming platform, they were putting out original movies before that. Disney's not known for putting out original movies on a streaming service.
No.
Right.
They are the movie theaters. They are the silver screen. They are the reason why most people in the country and even the world go to the movie
Well,
theaters
they have
just because of
built-in
their stories.
partnership, the way it works.
And
is-
even then, yeah,
yeah.
and there's more money to be made. Like you could say, yeah, Red Notice had 200 million people watch it. Cool. How much money did it make in the box office?
Right.
Yeah, they're never going to be as profitable, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
But it was just a cool thought, maybe.
They were saying that that's gonna be like the biggest movie ever and like the craziest, and it was like a decent movie. It was fun.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The,
Red Notice.
Yeah,
I haven't watched
it's,
it.
Yeah,
See,
neither have I.
and then
that
there's
was okay.
There it is. You know.
Adam Project.
I tried. I was about to say. I tried watching the Atom Project.
couldn't get through
and
it
it
either.
wasn't. There wasn't anything wrong with it. I just like the for whatever reason the premise wasn't grabbing me, and I was
Oh,
like,
man.
I loved it.
It was a little rough
Yeah,
to
As,
get
I
through.
think as a dad watching the movie The Adam Project,
Yeah.
that's where it really hit
As
me.
a
And I was like,
father.
Yeah.
Someday when I'm a dad.
I don't have children.
one day
Yeah,
when you're a dad.
Me as
I'll
a
wa-
son
I'll
really
watch
liked it.
Me as a son.
It had a lot of sun in it.
No, the cool thing
The
though
show,
is
the movie's really good. You should watch it.
they
It's-
mention superhero landing, and then there's a Deadpool sticker in
Well,
the movie.
And a Hulk sticker.
The gentleman
And a
who,
Hulk sticker.
who
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
directed
yeah.
this is also directing
Deadpool.
Deadpool 3.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
Levy.
Sean Levy, yeah, that's his name.
He did all the
nice.
Stranger Things as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So
there
he's
you
a very
go.
talented dude. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with Deadpool.
As and
Anyway,
When's Stranger Things? This summer, May, June, July.
Soon. They
July.
just put out
I
something
believe
about
it's
it, like still shot.
July. Oh no, it's Halloween.
who wants to
It's
get
during
mad at me
Halloween.
about my opinion on Stranger Things?
I don't.
That's
don't know
another
if we
show.
will. That's for
another show.
time.
Yeah, we'll save that
You
one.
and the variant, you're both like kind of in that same wheelhouse.
You guys agreed.
I might be in the same
Aw.
wheelhouse with
agree
you
about
guys.
something.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys agreed on
it's-
something.
Remember when
So-
Jonathan and I didn't agree about stuff? And
Yeah,
now
it was
seems
every
like
other
we
week
agree
except
about
this one.
everything now.
It's every other week except this week. Variant, real quick. What's a comic you're reading or a show you're watching right now that you'd like to recommend, or you want to give us a little?
I think I
review?
did a little shout out a little bit about it. Was Raised by Wolves. The second season just came out, or didn't just came out. It came out a few weeks ago.
It just ended.
It just ended.
Yeah.
So
Very-
it's all available now, so you can just watch it all, binge
Yeah, yeah,
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a crazy sci-fi show.
Super sci-fi.
Very,
don't think
very
I will.
out there. It's Ridley Scott, his vision.
Yeah, dude.
and it's like robots are raising children, and it's like this weird duality of like a machine trying to like teach a human how to be human.
Oh, interesting. That's
And
Raised
it's
by
very,
Wolves.
very
Yeah,
violent.
it's
It's extremely violent.
Extremely.
It starts
violent.
very
That's why
not
Sonny
violent.
likes it.
Yeah, dude.
It starts very not violent.
It starts very non-violent.
like
and
it's
then
very.
gets
It
violent.
feels like it's very safe and kind of fun
Guys,
and
is it
campy.
non-violent at
And then it
first?
just goes.
And then people heads start exploding.
Oh, good.
It's
yeah,
awesome.
it's nuts.
It's crazy.
Sonny, what do you got?
So we haven't mentioned this, and I know you weren't a fan of the original series.
Oh boy.
The Boys has an animated series out called.
He came around on it. He came around on
I
it.
know, but in the beginning he wasn't
came
really
around.
so. So they have different
listened to
animation styles. One of the animators for Rick and Morty did one of the episodes,
nice.
so it has that vibe.
Cool.
And
They're all out.
they're all out.
They put 'em
You
all
can
out.
watch them, and then some of them they kind of give you.
Some
a
of
lot
them are
the characters.
canon, right?
Some of them are canon, and some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Some are just telling stories. It's really, really funny. Of course, very gory. It's not your traditional cartoon. I think everybody should give it a try. It's really, really. I don't know. I was gonna say shot,
I knew
but try.
him
I was
or
like,
Quan was gonna say something.
I held back
I
so
tried
much.
to get it. I was like, shot train.
I couldn't help myself.
It's
Train.
super good.
About 20 minutes a
Super
week making
good.
fun of each other on
I
while we're
can't
recording.
do anything
I got you,
right,
Quan.
man.
Donovan,
I love you, Sonny.
So I'm
Check out the boys.
Variant sweating over there. Is
Oh
laughing.
goodness,
I'm
it's a good night.
I'm still continuing to read the Thor God of Thunder's run
Oh,
with Thor
nice.
the God Butcher. I'm
Jason
still
Aaron,
really, really enjoying that.
Nice.
And then my wife and I are watching Star Wars in canonical order. So we did Phantom Menace. We finished Attack of the Clones, and now
Sorry.
we're on Clone Wars.
Sick.
And I got to tell you, Clone Wars makes
The movie's a little more
those two
enjoyable,
movies incredible.
I'll agree
Oh,
with
yeah.
that.
I went in to Clone Wars or Attack of the Clones thinking that I'm watching a very long live action Clone Wars episode.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the way I looked at it, and I got to tell you, it went up a lot.
I gotta tell you.
Gotta tell you.
I gotta tell you, people, Attack of the Clones with Little Yoda, Count Dooku, Little Dookie,
Darth Tyrannus.
Little
Darth
Dookie.
Tyrannus. Some
Little
say
Duke.
I'm the next Darth Tyrannus, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, there he is. There he is with his vagina chin. All right. But yeah, so we're watching all of that, and then when we're done,
Yeah.
when we're done with
Holy-
when we're done with Clone Wars, we'll go to Revenge of the Sith, and then we'll do Rebels,
And then you'll get to the good ones.
and then we're gonna get to Obi-Wan, and then we'll get to Rogue One, and then so on and so
Nice.
on. So
Nice,
we're-
dude.
my,
So you guys-
my wife loves Clone Wars. Like she
Good.
is like, this is so
Nice.
good. Like the first thing she
Yeah.
does is like, we're watching Clone Wars tonight, right?
Nice.
And I'm like, yes, good, good. Feel the hate flow through you. No, we just got done
All
with
of them
the
are all so good, always. dude. All-
we just got done watching the episode where they go to the that planet, the Force planet,
Force
and the
planet
Father of the
with-
Force.
yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Those
My
episodes
wife
are
was
good.
like, I just felt like I just got done like with a philosophy lesson, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much what it was: balance, light and dark. And we're really, really enjoying that right now. Like, I can't wait to go watch Clone Wars tonight with my wife.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very
Good.
exciting.
Cute.
Paul.
So the Dragon Ball Z, starting kind of with the androids and going all the way through the Boo saga, has been put on Crunchyroll.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not the hugest anime guy, but I love Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely.
And me and all my roommates, namely Murad, are sitting down every night and watching as many episodes as we can before we go to bed. Dragon Ball Z is just fun, man. It's just
So
just dudes with for real. It's like find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z.
And
Good
you're
thing
like,
is I don't have to wait a week. It just comes
just
on.
click next, dude.
But that's a lot of fun. It's cool to watch those characters. It's one of the only animes where I actually prefer the dub to
I
the
was gonna
sub
say, yeah.
because Goku in the anime is and always has been voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's
You
like
can
a very
definitely
high-pitched woman. And Goku's supposed to be Superman for all intents and purposes.
Right.
He comes from a planet that gets destroyed. He lands on Earth. He's its savior. He's Goku. And the
It's
creator
Asian Superman.
Toriyama, the creator of it, is like, yeah, that's my inspiration. There's other inspirations and stuff.
Right.
And it's just weird to listen to a high pitch. And she still does the voice to this day for Dragon Ball Super, and she's very old now, and it sounds very strange. But I think Shamel something last name, Scott Shamel. I can't remember the dude's name. He's the voice of Goku. For the English version,
Yeah.
he's been it for years. This dude named Sabat is the voice of Piccolo,
Yeah.
Vegeta, Kami, a bunch of people like that. And it's just very good and it's fun to watch.
Awesome.
And it's just quick little 20, 24-minute episodes, and I really enjoy it.
Boom.
See Jonathan's face. He's just
Yeah.
like all proud. He's just like, ooh.
Yes.
Name dropping every voice actor.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is fantastic. And if you have Crunchyroll and you're interested and you've never watched Dragon Ball Z, go watch it. It's a lot of standing around yelling at each other and then punching each other, but that's why it's fun.
I've been watching this Italian anime. It's called Sopranos. On HBO.
Gabagool.
Listen,
Gabagool.
I always have this. I've got this thing in my mind about debating what the greatest dramatic series is of all time. So I've been rewatching Sopranos, and now I'm probably gonna rewatch Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad.
I'm watching Breaking Bad right
Okay.
now.
I'm almost done with Sopranos. I've kind of decided at this point that it's not better than Breaking Bad,
No.
Wow.
and it's might not be better than Better Call Saul.
No.
Better Call Saul's not done yet.
No. I've
But-
heard really good things. I've never even watched one episode of Better Call Saul.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I've heard really good things.
You got to get through the first season or so. But it's,
That's Odenkirk, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I watched Nobody the other day.
I actually had
I
fun
like
with that.
So
I
weird
watched that with you.
weird
no, I
parallel.
don't think so.
Nobody, I feel like,
I
is
get you guys
like
confused.
the movie version of what Dragon Ball Z would be, and just it's just
the
a
hair.
movie straightforward. People run around and fight each other, and he punches a bunch of people and shoots a bunch of people, and
Yeah.
it's like just a action movie.
It's like
fun
a
action
nerdy
movie.
John Wick.
Yeah,
It's the John Wick. A lot of the people that worked on John
I enjoyed
Wick
it.
worked on
I
the
actually
movie,
enjoyed it more than John Wick. I think John Wick
What?
is John Wick's a little too.
Violence.
It's not tongue in cheek enough for me. It's kind of like very like we're taking this very seriously. I'm like, this is all kind of goofy. Like,
They
Kill
do
the-
take the
kill his
like
dog,
the
man.
third one. The third one when he falls off a roof from a 300-story building,
And
and he
live-
gets up, and the guy's like excommunicado, and you're like,
Which one is it where-
And Lawrence Fishburne's like pigeons, and you're
Lawrence
like,
Fishburne,
all right,
yeah.
cool.
I think it's the third one where he starts the fight off with the movie off with a fight with Boban Marjanovic.
Yeah.
He was a center
That
for the
is an
Pistons. He's like 7'4".
awesome
That's a good fun.
scene.
That's
Is that the
fun.
guy that plays for the Nuggets?
Yeah, I don't know where Boban plays now, but he's definitely still in the league.
He's like little man.
Oh no, he played for the Sixers. I don't know where he plays now.
I just remember when he played for the Pistons. He played with.
And you know when he played with John Wick?
He was besties with Tobias Harris on a team. I don't remember.
That man gets his
Back to
face
sports
broken
talk
by
again.
an encyclopedia.
Oh,
He played for Clippers, got traded to the Sixers with Tobias Harris, and then he went to the Mavs, and now he's somewhere else.
Thank you, Quan.
dumb.
Now
And
he's in
that's
John
been
Wick.
Sports Talks with Quan on Into the West
I
Comics.
love it. Guys,
Yes.
we got a lot. We got through a lot of stuff today.
We did.
We kept it tight.
You did keep it pretty tight.
No, we didn't.
Hey, 2
It's
minutes
7
to spare.
o'clock on the dot. I'm on the
kinda.
drop top cruising the streets. We're fine.
Okay.
That was really good.
I started singing Cash Out.
By the time we see each other next week, we will have seen the first couple episodes of Moon Knight. Because they're doing a 2-episode premiere.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When they
Nice.
start next week.
Oh, you were kind of.
Looking forward to this.
Do you guys just quickly? Do you guys prefer when they do that? Do a first couple episodes premiere and then
Yeah.
run through it from there.
Yeah.
I can think
for sure.
that's a good hybrid of the week to week and the all at once thing.
Yeah.
I
Because then
think
you're leaving
it's
a
what-
month for for
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's what got people invested in Peacemaker.
I agree.
Is them releasing those
Same.
first 3
Grab
episodes.
a hold of it
Same.
and then run with it.
I think
That
if
show
they
was
had watched the
fantastic.
first episode, people would have been like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
because
You
it
got
did
3
take me the
episodes,
first couple.
People
to
were
get into it.
invested by the time they watched the 3 episodes. You were either in or you weren't.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so good. Guys, we appreciate you taking the time to spend your Thursday evening with us. We're gonna go watch the tournament, eat tacos,
Yeah, baby.
and yell some more at each other.
Down with the Zags.
Jonathan's gonna tell us a lot about Nova, and we're looking forward to it. Paul, how could they get a hold of us in the social world?
You can get a hold of us in the social world on Twitter at into_comics. What? Instagram at Into the West Comics. I feel like that was pretty good. TikTok at Into the West Comics. And look out, sometime next week, we're going to be posting, I talked about it last week, a best of the month. Probably going to get a lot from this episode because we were nutsos this
Crazy.
episode.
Yeah.
But the past 4 episodes, we're going to do that every month going forward. And it'll be a quick little 10 to 20 minute video for you guys to watch and catch up if you can't watch 1 hour every week. And I think you guys will enjoy that.
Apologies to Jared Leto. We're not going to go see Morbius next week right after the show.
That comes out next week?
We're going to see it
Wow, that's
next
next week.
Thursday.
That
Next Thursday.
sucks.
We could go see it if we want to, but we're not. I don't want to.
But we're not. We could go see it, but we're not. I mean, I'd be down.
No.
Just to hang out with you guys.
Literally, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah.
say just to hang out and leave the theater, be like, ooh,
I
that wasn't good.
Nobody's more fun when they hate a
Jonathan?
movie than me and
Or
Jonathan.
you guys just come to my house and we just talk crap about Morbius the whole time.
I'm down with that.
That's
dude.
fine too.
Wait, without watching it?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That would
Guys,
be
I
pretty
got my
funny.
pool going, and it's
Oh.
like I
on
jumped
our
in it
way.
today with the kids. It was like 85 degrees. It was perfect.
Nice.
So,
Oh, okay.
gentlemen,
About to
Hey.
get into
All right.
That's a different show.
Variant what you got. Variant what you got.
landscaping.
I mean, stay safe. Get ready for Nova. It's gonna knock
I'm
your
gonna
socks
buy
off.
Jonathan a Nova helmet.
Nova.
Okay, Jay-Z.
Sonny,
All right.
Sonny, everything was sign us
Hove.
off there.
Oh, it's Hova.
Shaboy.
That's what it was.
All right,
Come
guys.
on. I can't even one up that. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, it's time to eat.
Have a good one, you guys.
Talk to you soon, guys.
Later, guys.
Love you. Have a good night.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Oh, you said it last week.
It wasn't
Oh, you said it last week. That's
Yeah.
right.
Take care. Brush your hair.
Later, y'all.
It's like grandpa. Take care, brush your hair.